Hello, welcome all. Thank you for joining us. My name is Greer Gladden. I am an instructor and user of vibrochrome therapy. I'm also a body worker. I facilitate healing. So thank you for joining us. And today we have Traci.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Greer.
to meet you too. So tell us what Cannabis therapy means to you.
What it meant to me is about a year ago, March 31st, 2015, I was diagnosed with leiomyosarcoma, a very rare tumor, and I was stage 4. It was 8 centimeters placed in my abdomen. And I had come across the Cannabis. For the first part of it was my emotions. They wanted to give me 4 different prescriptions for anxiety, depression. When someone tells you you have 4 to 6 months to live, a lot of things go through your head and your heart and your being. Besides trying to figure out, well, what are you going to do about this? So I started using them, and I was totally drawn to the green and the violet. Those were like the two at that point. And then the red, I had a sample of red I used one day, and I went in for the first time for my chemotherapy, and I felt empowered. I felt like, okay, I'm going to beat this. And that's what really the red did for me. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And so every time I had to face another consequence of, neutropenia, which means you lose all your white blood cells, red blood cells. I had no platelets, no hemoglobins, and I went in, they said, if you didn't get here in 24 hours, you wouldn't have made it. You were, So I stayed that week, got shingles, lost my hair, went through the whole thing, couldn't wait to get home so I could do the greens and the violets again, because I always felt emotionally that was what was working. Right. I never took any medication.
You just like those colors.
Yep, those were just what I was directed.
Excellent.
And the red that one day. So I thought, so then I had to go in for a second round of chemo. And what they do is they put me in the hospital for 6 days, 3 chemicals for 15 hours a day.
Right.
It's called AIM, and it's very strong. And I brought them with me that time because at first they don't, what is that? They didn't want me to floss my teeth, and I was like throwing a fit because I was neutropenic. I was like, I'm going to floss. I'm a hygienist.
Right.
So they want to know what's in your bag all the time. You do. When you go in there, sometimes you're like in prison in a hospital. They had a bell on the alarm because I had fallen, a lot of things. So I got through the chemo, got through neutropenia again, and I had a little reprieve, and emotionally I was feeling, and I felt physically pretty good, but I had to do 6 weeks of everyday radiation.
Yeah.
And all I heard about radiation was, well, you didn't get sick with the chemo, which I think the Cannabis had a lot to do with that, the nauseousness. I ate. I could actually eat.
That's excellent. That's a big part of you.
So the radiation, everybody says, you're just going to be drained, tired, you're not going to be able to function. I drove myself that whole 6 weeks.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
that color was more the purple. And I don't know why the purple at that time. I think I was a little lost. I don't know, I already was told I'd never be a dental hygienist again. I still had to face surgery. And I didn't know what my goal was going to be in life, because I was a goal-orientated person. I moved out here, I started my own business, I was doing good, and never really depended on any medications, and physically I was always pretty healthy, except for cancer, that's one of my things. And I drove myself every day to radiation.
Amazing.
And what I would do is, for discomfort from the tumor, because that was my only discomfort at that time, I would put the color of the day that I picked, a drop.
Just a drop on there?
And then a drop in my water. And every day I left the house with my bottle of water.
Nice. So they never knew.
Nobody knew.
Just you.
And then I decided myself to test it, thinking, okay, pain, it's helping my friend. She's had chronic pain for years. She's functioning, she's working, she's moving, she's busy. I thought, well, I came out of surgery, lost a kidney, part of my vena cava, and my pancreas. And I told them within 2 hours of waking up, I said, get the epidural out. I do not want any pain. You give me something oral if I need it. And when I was in the hospital, I took 1 dose, switched to their Tylenol for the second day. I left 2 days after that surgery.
Wow.
And they told me I'd be there at least 4 to 7. And I walked out and I never took another Tylenol, pain pill, anything. I just rubbed my belly where the incision was. And at that point I started doing a different color every day, a couple colors. I was just kind of,
So you were mixing and matching.
and
whatever you
I've
wanted.
never taken any anxiety drugs. And the
Excellent.
violet seems to help with that. My heart will race.
Mhm.
In a purple or violet, that will be my day if I feel anxious. You know, every 3 months I have to have this scan, and they tell me, is this do or die? Because I'll never be cancer free. I'll always have leiomyosarcoma. And they're just trying to keep them to small cells, but it's still nerve wracking. You have to have
Right.
blood work, you go on the scan, and then you're like, you wait a week, and then you go to the doctor, and I sit there, but I'm unable to deal with what he has to say. The first time was, I'm sorry, but you have 2 spots on your right lung. So in December, they took a quarter of my right lung and found 3 spots. And at that point, I knew I'd never be, it metastasized, so I'll never be cancer free. And I said, well, I'll see about that. I'm going to keep my positive
Right.
thing, and my last scan was clear for now.
Awesome.
Means the cells are real small.
Mhm.
And this next one, if they're larger, then we're gonna go forward with whatever, but it shouldn't be as strong as what I went through. But I think the pain-wise and emotionally for me, it kept me in the place I needed to be to fight and get through.
Excellent. Are you using any other colors now?
Just the 4.
Just the core 4.
And then when I don't have some of the other colors, but when I visit someone, like today, I used an emerald and then a turquoise last
Yes.
night.
Ooh, how was that feeling?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was good, but I was tired, but it just was like so, I just felt
Calming?
calm and nice. So,
Right.
yeah, so I'm experimenting, now I want to experiment with
Turquoise, tranquility.
Mm-hmm. Very, very nice night.
Awesome.
Slept
Thank
like
you.
a lot.
Thank
You're
you for sharing
welcome.
your
It's
story.
really nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.